is Greg FBT Mueller. Greg, thanks for being a high roller today, man.
Thanks for the nice little introduction.
Hey, listen, buddy, you've had quite a career. Can we start with that Limit Hold'em championship? I mean, they played the anthem for you. That must have been a proud moment for you, your family, your friends, because I know you've worked so hard for it, and it seemed to be a long time coming, didn't it?
Yeah, I had gotten a couple seconds, and I figured I didn't know if I was ever going to win one, and it was kind of a weird time for me because they had just brought the Stanley Cup in the day that I had won the bracelet, and I don't know if the stars were aligned that day or what it was, but yeah, the next day they played the anthem for me. It was pretty special.
Now, this is the event where you had the straight flush, am I correct?
That's the one, yeah.
Tell us about that, Ann, because that was quite a momentum shifter for you in that event.
Well, we were three-handed with Chad Brown and Pat Pezin, and I had made a move on the hand on the turn and raised Pat out of the hand. So I was confident I was going to win the pot regardless because I believed that Chad had a flush also. And I was going to win the pot if the diamond did not come, but obviously it turned out to be a significant pot because I didn't see his hand, but pretty sure he made a big flush, and so we got a lot of bets in as opposed to just maybe me betting the river and him folding. But yeah, it changed the momentum and helped me propel me to win the bracelet.
All right, you got the hockey background, the Stanley Cups there. They're playing the anthem. As a Canadian, I know what that means. I mean, it means everything. When you're up there on the podium, what's going through your mind when they're playing that anthem for you?
Yeah, it's just a proud feeling, like playing, it's kind of like you win and they're playing your anthem. It's like it's like, I don't know, you playing hockey all my life. It's like that team mentality, and it's just a great feeling to be Canadian when you're up there and they're playing your anthem, and yeah, just a really special moment.
Not even 2 weeks later, you've got your second bracelet. Talk about that run, that 2-week period where it seemed like, I guess, everything went as planned. I mean, you had the best of it when the money went in, you folded when you had the worst of it, your bluffs worked, everything worked.
It's like in sports, sometimes when things go your way, they just go your way, and everything went my way, and I had the swagger, the confidence from winning one a week earlier, and obviously I ran pretty good, and things just went my way, and it's like that when a guy goes out and scores a bunch of goals every night. He's just doing the right things. He's passing when he should pass. He's shooting when he should shoot, and it's things just get easy when you're confident, and you just make all the right decisions at all the right times. And yeah, it was a special 12 days for me for sure.
Hey, I know we can't spend too much time with it tonight because you're off to a hockey game. What are you? Are you just playing some rec league or what? Some buddies tonight? How's that working for you?
Well, just when I'm home, I like to take after the World Series. I like to take 4 or 5 months off and drop the extra weight I put on during the series. And I hate going to the gym, even though I have to. I'd much rather play hockey, and so I play about 4 or 5 times a week when I'm at home, and Monday nights is a group of guys that's in my local city that we've been playing for for years, and basically just the one guy makes the teams, and it's really competitive, and we just go out there, play games up to 5 and sweat for an hour and a half and have a couple beers after, and it's pretty good caliber of hockey actually, and it's fun, and you get fitter in the process. So
2007, I watched it on ESPN. There you are, you're the table captain, you got all that swagger happening at the final table, and this young kid, Steve Bilarakis, who at the time was the youngest champion ever. Can you talk about what you learned from that heads-up showdown when I guess you were the favorite and lost? And then 2 years later, what did you learn from 2007 that you carried through with you to 2009 when you completed the feat?
Well, fortunately, when we got heads up in 2009 in the first match, I had all the chips. There was not much really I could do wrong to not win that bracelet, but it was more the second bracelet that I won when I had played a guy, I forget his name, but he had also won a Limit Hold'em bracelet a few weeks before that, so we were both playing for a second bracelet, a tough player, and the lead had changed hands a lot throughout the match, and it was just the composure, I think, that was the biggest thing that I had learned, throughout my seconds, and it took me about 7 final tables before I won one, and I think the biggest thing I learned was just to just to be composed and to realize, you know, you can't win the final table on the first hand, and even heads up, you can't win it right away, and it's just a long, grueling match, and you have to, you know, you have to play the cards you're dealt, and you just can't force things, and just not to lose your cool when things go against you, and when you feel like the cards aren't fair in the match. You know, you just have to keep your composure, try and play the best you can, and you know, I think that's the biggest thing that I learned from the heads up match. You know, disappointingly losing to a opponent that although he was very young and maybe not that well heard of publicly, he was a real tough player, and I certainly knew who he was, and he let the poker world know real fast. He was a tough player. So
I'm very intrigued by the 7-card stud championship event, because it seems to me that the lineup of players that enter are just top caliber. So you must have looked back after losing out when you got to the final table there, look back and say, hey, that is quite an accomplishment. Even though I didn't win, you know, I made it to the final table with all those brilliant players.
Yeah, anytime you make it to a World Series final table event, especially in the 10K, you know, I'm very thankful. I mean, obviously, every spot sucks unless you win. Like this year, I made a couple final tables, and I got a second, and I had the chip lead against my good buddy Dave Baker. I had a pretty big chip lead in the 8-game mix, and I didn't win. You know, when you reflect back on it after the series, you realize the accomplishment, and you're happy, you know, with the prize pool and everything. But, you know, at the time, you could tell me I was playing against, you know, Doyle and Ivy and Phil and this Phil and all the best players in the world. When you get knocked out, you're not thinking it's a good accomplishment at the time. You're just disappointed. But you know, when you sit back and think about it and you reflect, yeah, those 10K events are tough. They're not as big of a field, but they're extremely tough, and everybody there knows how to play. And yeah, I was definitely happy to show a good result in that tournament.